let's turn on some music. Here it comes, 2.5 hours of ZX Spectrum AY music. Isn't that great? Oh, I'm seeing a wrong thumbnail. Can we change that? How can I change the thumbnail when I'm streaming already? Because... there it is. Because YouTube is sometimes quite hard. But we'll see. Welcome, guys. Hey, Steve, you're early. Okay, the thumbnail will be updated in a second. Not yet, but we'll see. Which is a pity, by the way, because if I post this now, it will show the wrong thumbnail. Can we get it right again? Oh man, I should have checked, but the new YouTube studio is it's a pain. What can you do about it? Yeah, it shows the correct thumbnail in YouTube on my timeline now, but let's see if it will post the correct one in Facebook. This is not correct. Let me check. Alright. Okay, remove the preview. Yeah, gets the correct one. I love it. Live! The usual spamming everywhere, and let's put it on Twitter as well, why not? Tweet, what's keeping you busy? Well, this live stream. Right. And another one, and another post, and another post. If it shows the preview, yes it does. And here one more, and here one, and tweet on Twitter. I think we're done. Right, that's it for spamming. No problem, Steve. Send me a photo of your workshop, Steve, on my Facebook. That would be cool. Oh, you're on training, Ben, and how can you do two things at once? Anyway, all right. So I think we are good to go. I think the music is just good. So let's put the window on the left so we can focus on what's going on here. All right. Okay, so we got a huge stack of ZX Spectrum boards. Please ask me anything. That would be cool. Let's put the chat on the back. And OBS on top. Oh, where's the chat? Where's the chat gone? Let's use chat from the... I hate this. Okay, let's put this window here. Okay, that's one. And then we have the live stream chat and OBS, and that's just perfect. All right. Okay, so we got a huge stack of spectrums, and for this we're going to use my desoldering station, but some of some of the pads won't be emptied easily, so I'm going to use the old school pump as well. Because Sinclair used some huge ground planes here, for example, which is quite hard to open with the cheap desoldering station. Let's put these on a stack so they are not on the way. There's a Samsung board in between here, issue 4S. Even found an issue 3. I don't know which version it was, but it was also a Samsung one, which was cool. Got it somewhere, not sure where. But the other ones are just plain issue 3s or 3Bs or 6s or 4BSC, so let's just get it going. I need some IC sockets, I see. Okay, you get the point. Hey. Oh, you have a lunch break. Oh, okay. Couple of those. Get some. Oh, this of course the I'm smelling something odd, and I think it's the desolder pump, which hasn't been used for quite a while. It smells badly, but I hope it's working. Otherwise, we'll just do it by hand. It smells. If you smell something like this, you immediately think something is on fire or some electronics. But I actually got 2 blown Chinese power supplies, which isn't that odd, of course, because they are made cheaply. But in 1 week, that was the fun part. Right. So I got some empty IC ROM socket here, so I'm putting in a socket and soldering that to start with. And of course, once the caps are done, we also should replace the remove the ULA socket. But before doing that, I always make sure the board is working, because if you put in a other ULA and there's still something wrong, it might be the ULA chip itself or something else. You might blow up the ULA chip when it's still good. So it's always important to test the ULA chip first in another board that is known working, and then remove the socket and solder it on the board. And the reason for that again is when you put on a heatsink on the ULA chip, it's too high to put in a rubber key ZX Spectrum case. So the socket needs to be removed and the chip needs to be soldered on the board. But I will show that later on. Let's get it going. Let's get the first capacitors out, and these ones are sitting in an angle, the leads. So that's, I hate when it happens, but some boards have that. So what we do then is we lift it a bit to make it easier to remove the solder. And I was thinking of doing this just quickly, but I might just test the boards when this is done. I'm not sure if after the time, because there's so much other stuff to do. Let's see if the desolder pump will help me. It often needs a couple of minutes to heat up properly, but I'm not sure if it's clean enough. It sounds a bit clogged up, so we have to see about that. But often it just needs to warm up a bit, because it's a cheap one, and if you want to use it immediately, even though the display says it has a correct temperature, then it doesn't really work. So let's do it this way. I have a strong thumb. I've done this so many times, so it's a workout for my thumb, this. And of course you can do this the whole day, but there's another way, of course. You can just pull the capacitors like this. That's another way of doing it, and then empty the holes afterwards. There are different ways of doing this, but they have to get out, be pulled out, and I'm not bothering about which type value is where, because I have a map for that, which has proven to be correct. So just putting all of these. I could make photos just to be sure, but I'm lazy. So I'm just getting them out. It's always good with 30-year-old solder to get some new on it. Speed up the process, and there's less chance of damage on the board, on the tracks and the pads. Hence I do it. Just some leaded solder here. Alright. This is the hardest one. And the Weller has 75 watts soldering iron, so that will do the job without any problem. See, it's already open now, but I'll put some more new on it. We can put it from above. I'm just thinking I need to lift this up a bit, otherwise they won't get out easily. So let's just get this going. We'll check the chat in a minute. Let's lift these. I think it's better with this board. So we will end up with a huge stack of old capacitors, which are useless, or except if someone can think of some artwork or so made from them. Could be cool. So this is an issue 3. The next through boards. Okay, of course. That is interesting. So you got a lot of orders in, Steve? Or just prepping them for to put on some website like Semi-Retro, so, which I can imagine. Come on, get out. It's a lot of heat for one pad. Let's dim the mic. Oh, that's the wrong one. Sorry, there wasn't music. Sorry. My bad. No, it's no Corona. My window is open, it's windy outside, so if you hear something, and that's probably the source of the dust here, then you know what it is. Right. Oh. And the last one here. Okay. I will stack up the capacitors, but let's put them in some box here so it won't get spread on over the table. Oh. Alright, next board. So as you can see, I'm going to do this in a quick way, as fast as I can, because I've got loads of more work to do today and I really want to get it done. But also don't want it to make this a boring video, so if there's something we can chat about, or we can test the boards later on, then it would be good. Some of these have been tested already. Some seem to have some bugs, but they could be caused by bad capacitors. So we'll see about that. I've seen boards with very strange problems that were only caused by bad capacitors, so it's good to just replace them. And I put all the capacitor maps on Vitalite.com, so Google for Vitalite capacitor maps and you will get to the page where you can find them, download them, print them. Come on, didn't I do this? Oh, that's the one I forget. You can see the difference if you forget to add some new solder on it. How more difficult it is to get them out. Now we're talking. Yep. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, Tindy, of course, you got them in Tindy. Yeah, right. Where I got the shirt. This one here. Zilog. It's from your Tindy. But if you want to sell a lot, then it's better to put them on some retros or something else. Or even on ZX Spectrum shop if you want to. Just sell me a couple. I think it's fortunate that the compressor was enabled when I just sneezed with the microphone not muted. So I hope your ears haven't been destroyed. Someone asked me, can you do how much for just replacing the capacitors? And I've been asked that before, and I won't just do capacitors. People want to get their board fixed or refurbished cheaply, and that's just not wise, because capacitors is just one thing of the list of things to do when refurbishing boards, and not the only thing. So the heatsink on the ULA chip and removing the socket is the second most important, and replacing the 7805 to avoid heat on the board, it's the third thing. And then other things like improving the ROM selection circuit and other stuff. So not only capacitors, I won't do that. If you have a batch of boards and you want to have, for example, 3 or 4 boards fixed at once, and some of the boards might already have some work done already, like replacing caps replace or something like that. We might discuss the price, but I usually just refurbish boards fixed price, including repairs, except for the ULA chip. So if the ULA chip needs to be replaced, it will be an additional charge, because those chips are rare, and if you want an original one or a replica one, those are costly. Fortunately they exist, so you can get them. So we'll do this stack in a couple of runs. So we start with removing the old capacitors, then we will open up all the holes from the capacitors that have been removed, and then we will get the new ones in, and after that we will do testing and the other stuff. It's a cool looking board, issue 4B. It looks quite new, but the edge connector has been used, so it's not new. Oh, and this one has a non-original transistors, which look quite a lot like the issue 4S board. So I will show you later on. So this is an issue 4B, and it looks like one of the early Samsung ones, where the board was still made by Sinclair and not by Samsung themselves. So that's my idea about that board, because the transistors are not original ones. Just interesting. I think Sinclair might have sent some boards over to Samsung to try it out. Maybe. The transistors look like the same ones on the Samsung boards. Oh, Redbubble. Okay. Don't use all those exotic platforms, Steve. I will not remember which site has was. Just cleaning this up a bit, it's not really needed, but so if someone soldered a composite plug top of the modulator or the ground side at least, I'd like to clean it up, but you can see how much solder wick is needed, which isn't free, of course, so it's not really useful, just for how it looks. Trying to get it back in original state a bit. Right, this one even doesn't have a composite video, I can see it. That's for later. We have to remove the heatsinks as well, so loads of things to do. Let's just keep it going. Use that later on. So I'm not sure if I still need the soldering station. I think I will switch it off. Just using power, not like that. Okay, there's only one odd capacitor here, but we'll do that separately. I feel like a dentist when doing this. Well, I don't think I would be a good dentist, so just leave it with spectrum boards then. Well, there are actually two odd capacitors on this board. That's for later. The second one is this one here. We'll leave it in for now. The reason I needed to do these boards, and I got plenty more, I got at least 50 or 60 boards in stock. I needed to do these because I sold some boards and complete sets like ZX Spectrum Plus cases with a refurbished board, and also some Hardican sets, sorry, not Hardican, I mean Rainbow LED cases with original 48K boards. So I need to get some ready. And I'm trying to keep boards with their original cases when they come in. So I'm not splitting them anymore, usually, because I have plenty of spare separate ones in boxes, so I'm just using the ones that came in as a board only, for example. This one has a corroded lead here, leg, and it's hard to get it out for some reason. Let's see. I'm not sure why. Alright, next. No problem, Miguel. Well, Steve, you're always welcome to offer something in ZX Spectrum to the shop, but because it's not a platform for other people to sell, I have to buy some from you and sell them like other people do. Like, for example, Syntec does the same with my products. You just order a handful and sell them, and of course they will get a discount, back-to-back prices usually. Only for bigger batches. For one or two, that's not interesting, of course. Except if you have ordered something for over €50 or £50, then you will get a 5% discount for your next order. In case you didn't know. And I always send codes for that after shipping your current order. So. Alright. Come on. get that tooth out. Yeah, it's done. Just hurts a little. Right. So believe it or not, this is what I do full time nowadays. Things like this, I mean. I'm not spending time on boards only, of course. And it's quite cool work. Makes a living, so. Sometimes I think I should get some employees because still have a huge backlog over about 150 orders. It just doesn't want to get down. Although I produce about 15 or 20 products a day. Different products, of course, some products need only 10 minutes of work and some others need half an hour or something. Especially the custom work, so repairs and refurbishments for people's Z spectrums. That takes a lot of time. But I try to think like it's production work, and we get one and we get the next, and that's the only way of making a living of it. Otherwise, I should be a millionaire or something, and I'm not yet. So for now I'm doing this myself, and maybe in the future we'll get some employees, we'll see. But those need to have some soldering skills. Hey, did I forget one here? Yep, I forgot one. And the other ones we'll do later, but this one should get out easy. So it's hard. Yeah, I'm not sure if I can find an employee for a decent rate. I don't know. I think it will be hard. That's four to go. We have 8 boards here, so this is the other one from which looks like it's a Samsung. And can we find any more clues of that? Well, on the Samsung board, the 4S C839 is used, and here also as well. But these are from these are BC183s, so these are standards, and this one is not standard. And oh man, I really think that this board is done by Samsung as well. I'm not entirely sure because the caps are still vis-A's, and there's no indication of this being done by Sinclair. So I'm not sure. I don't know. And there's also a cheap LM189 replacement chip in here, which I will get out because that one often causes problems. So we'll see if this board is working properly. I don't know. I just got all the notes that I made in the past from them, pull them off, and we'll test them again later. And every board can be fixed. That's not an issue, it's just the amount of time that you want to spend on it. For me it's important to get as much done as possible. So since this board is using non-standard transistors, I guess the video quality won't be the best, so we'll replace that the transistor here in the corner, this one I think, no, this one here. I'll replace that with a standard type that was used on Sinclair boards to improve the quality. Oh, the board is hard. Come on, get out. It's easy to damage the pad, so I'll try to be careful. Right, next one. Maybe I can up the temperature a bit. Might go slightly quicker than it is going now, so let's try that. Right. Oh. And what I think I will give them a short test, and the boards that work I will continue working on and completing them, and the other ones I will do later on. So the quick wins first, easy picks. Hey, Jun Luigi. Good afternoon, man. Welcome. This was quite unannounced, so it's not your fault that you're late. So I told my wife I can just do these boards, or I can open a live stream and people can watch and maybe like seeing me work here. If they're crazy enough to watch me working. And I decided to do the last, so here we are. It's good for my YouTube channel to get more videos on it every day. We're almost at 2,000 subscribers, which is quite nice. I didn't expect to have that many this quickly, I want to say, because I think a year ago I was at 1,000 or something. So it's going quite nice. Let's see if we can make it a real YouTube channel. I'm not calling myself a real YouTuber, but you never know. Not there yet. But every YouTuber started I think, like this, I think. Not entirely sure, of course. Of course, you have exceptions, like kids with rich parents. They can buy everything they want. For example, the channels like the channels that unbox toys. The only thing they do is unbox new toys. I actually hate those channels because they make my kids wanting more and more and more. And well, what are they doing that? They're just making kids jealous. But you have those channels, you know. The only way you can do those is by starting off with some capital, and of course when you have 100,000 subscribers or something like that, it will get faster, and you might be able to do the channel without any extra financial stuff. But that's not the way I'm doing it. I'm building it from the ground up, which is cool, I think, for ZX Spectrum in this century. The community. the caps come out easier than compared to the other board. And now I do wonder if this one here, the 4S, has if I have it on the capacitor map. I think so, but just want to check. Let me get it here. Yeah. So here's the capacitor map, and the 4S is it's shown here as well. 4S, okay, so it's complete. Right. Well, last week we had something like 40 people watching the live stream, and that's, I think, quite a lot. Of course, I do a lot of spamming on Facebook and so. Get out. This one doesn't want to get out. And as I said, I would like to get the weekly show to become more of a general retro computer show in the future. But because it's a Byte show, it will still focus on ZX Spectrum stuff. But I think in time it could go to something more generic, which would be cool, I think, because more people might be interested in it. And I always think that my main audience will be ZX Spectrum enthusiasts, so we'll keep that in mind and not talk about stuff that's boring to them. Right, that was the 6th board. Let's get to the 7th. Have you considered using a desoldering station? Yes, I have one. Just showed it, but it's not working really well, especially on old solder. So I prefer to do it this way. So I powered it up already. And I try to avoid stress on the pads. You're totally right about that. So some capacitors go quite easily, and some need some motivation. I'll show you that the pads are just fine later on. Last thing I want to do is damage the board anyway. So if I'm putting these out, you can see I moved them to the right a bit, because the end of the leads are aimed in an angle. So that's no problem at all. No, well, sometimes I like to listen to chip tunes, but mainly when I'm watching demos, new demos on the real ZX Spectrum downloaded from, for example, Puey.net. But when I'm just working, I either watch tech videos, all kinds of YouTube channels, or watch something on Netflix, or listen to music, and I like trance music a lot. So loads of that played here. But I don't like it when it's silent, except when I'm stressed. When I'm stressed, I like to play some ocean sounds or so, you know, which is good for your health, mental health. or rain sounds, or something else. But trance music is the thing I like, and not the hard style or something, but the soft trance music. I love the State of Trance shows from Armin van Buuren, and I love the music from Jean-Michel Jarre, which isn't really trance, of course, but it was what I listened to a lot in the past and still. I like to listen to new music, new stuff. Alright, this is the last board of the stack. So once we got out these capacitors, we can open up the holes, free the holes. Alright. Yeah, totally right, Steve, about the solder station. I think mine needs new pads, new what do you call it? Filter pads. And the container where the tin is stored needs to be cleaned quite often, especially if you do boards like this. So load of time, this is faster than doing it with the desolder station. If you can do it faster with the desolder station, send me a video, I will take a look at it. But I think I'm quite fast doing this way. Right, so I think we're about half an hour in or so, and we've removed the capacitors of 8 boards. Quite nice. Now everything will go a bit quicker, and we can get to testing quite quickly. But I need to remove the heatsinks. I will keep the heatsinks. I was talking to someone who gave me the idea to just keep the heatsinks on, even when you're putting on a DC-DC switch, like a Traco power regulator. So I think it's a good thing to do, because it looks as the original, and there's no reason why not, and you can still use the heatsinks, the aluminum heatsinks here, cooling plates, for something instead of just storing them somewhere. Right, so it's done. Look at all the color, especially with this camera. There's more color on the screen than in real life, but you get the point. Anyway, okay, let's open up the holes, and I think I'm going to do that from the bottom. I like doing that way. That's one. That's two. As you can see, This is just fine doing it manually. Right. So from time to time I need to push the piece out. It's an old tin sucker. Does the job just fine. Because it sucks. That's what it needs to do. This tool sucks. Alright. Yep, perfectly fine. I will open up the reset button, the reset switch holes. So if someone wants to put in a new cable, it's quite easy to put them in there, but you can also put them over the reset capacitor, of course, which I tend to do by default. Okay, this is the first one. Let's get the heatsink up. How many people are watching? Let me check. Whoa, 15 or something. It's quite a lot. Again, I wonder if people are at work or something. I guess most people are at home at this moment, working at home. Or many people will. I'm not sure if most people will. Oh, this is wrong. I shouldn't put them here because I'm throwing away the capacitors, not the screw. Not. Although this one is rusted. I don't like using rusted parts. Okay. And before putting the boards back here, I will clean it up a bit, because otherwise the metal parts can get stuck on the board. I don't like that. Right. So we got one for the heatsinks here. Right. Let's clean it up a bit. So I like to keep my workplace clean to avoid new problems, so you can just get it going. Okay, I have the feeling my camera is zoomed in, but maybe it's just close to the desk. Let's zoom out a bit. Let's zoom. It's not zooming, of course. Yeah, okay. So you can see more this way. I think it's better, don't you think? And maybe it's not in focus, so maybe you can manually change the focus a bit. Check. Oh, it's the wrong one. Oh no. Brio. This is the best. Alright. I drink a lot of water. Loads of it. Right, so we got an empty ROM socket here, a ROM place position. Right. When I put in an EEPROM, I have to do a small modification on the board, because EEPROMs have only one selection line and the original ROMs had two. So we need to combine those, which is quite easy with two diodes and a resistor. And at the same time I do the same fix, if you can call it a fix, for boards that have a NEC ROM, NEC branded ROM, because the NEC ROMs, original ones, have a sleep state, if you can call it that. And if it gets into the sleep state, takes a bit longer to get back to active, and some interfaces like diff-ID don't wait that long, causing problems. So hence I also combine the selection signals so it will not get into that sleep state. And I'm joking, it's on Vitalite, you can check it. Someone seems to have replaced this connector because it's different from that one. It doesn't seem to be replaced, but it's a different one. And I don't think I've ever seen it, but anyway, it's not important. Alright, so yeah, open up the holes. Let's do that. Oh, I still forgot 2 caps here. Look at the huge amount of solder here. Look, can you see how thick that layer is? It's really thick. You can see how bulgy it is. It's just solder, loads of solder, and a solder mask over it. It's a huge amount. So they used a solder bath where the board went over to solder the through hole components. And it's a good process, but this is such a huge amount of solder on this board. Ridiculous. Oh. Right. You can see all the holes are just perfect, still perfect. Although I pulled the capacitors out with some force, not too much, but I just need to pull it. You can see, I'm pulling it. And of course, that side is the hardest one because that's the one with the huge ground plane behind it. So this one is more easy. And if we turn it around and we solder the ground plane here with a good soldering iron, then it's done. Now let's see if we can open out a hole from this side, because there's so much more solder here and it's open. So you can see a good soldering iron is important, but the thing is, this is not a good soldering iron. This is just a cheap Weller one, still €150. Don't buy it. It's a waste of money. Don't buy it. It's a waste of money. If you don't believe me, check out my other videos. You will see that it falls apart when you're using it. So using loads of super glue here in the middle. And the pads is gone already. That's a piece of garbage. Don't buy it. Please don't buy it. Buy a Hecko or something. The only benefit, only reason I'm still using it is because this is a 75 watt element here. You can see it here, 70 watts. Sorry. So that's the good thing about it, but that's all the good thing about it, and the rest is just a piece of crap. Even the station itself is an odd thing. There is some setting where you can automatically have it powered off, but it doesn't work at all. I'm not sure what they were thinking of building that in, because it will power off automatically, but not when it's not doing something. It just powers off after a certain amount of time, and when you want to get it back on, and you have to push a button. Why? Why? I think they had in mind that the station where you put it in will have some magnet in it or something. I don't know, some sensor to know that it's taken out and that it needs to heat up quickly. I don't know. It's ridiculous. It's just a piece of garbage. Don't buy it. Please don't. I don't have any good word for it. They ruined their own name. It's their own fault. If I buy a Weller, I expected quality, not garbage. So when this one is really gone, I have some spare stuff laying around, but then I will get a Hecko. We'll do a review, and I know I will be very happy with the Hecko. Alright. I think this is done. Oh, almost. Just a couple here. Looks good. Next. And of course this one has the Phillips screw instead of the flat screw, but and a huge nut on the back. Oh man, it's glued. Who glued this? Someone glued it. So if you have something from Samsung and you like it, well, this is a ZX Spectrum from Samsung. Talking about brands, what was it? What I wanted to say? I don't know. We'll get back later. Right. Oh, sorry. Oh. Yeah. There's some stuff blocking the output here. Now it will work. Yes. So I think the microphone was a good buy. Works just fine and the audio quality is quite nice. And there's still some noise, but you know, it's an analog microphone, so then it's been I've plugged it in my mixer here, Behringer mixer, with some equalizer set, and it's fed into my USB audio device, external one, low latency. Also from Behringer, I think. Is it from Behringer? I think so, yeah. They make loads of stuff. Alright. And then it's used in OBS. And in OBS I added a noise filter and a compressor. And that's what you get when you're listening to this. And I think this microphone picks up less of the surrounding noise. I'm not entirely sure, so we'll check it later on myself. Because I wonder if you can hear the noise of the fume extractor and the other stuff. I wonder how loud it is. Right. I think we're done here. So when the caps are in, just going to do some basic testing and mark which one boards work and which need more attention, and then I'm going to get some coffee. So I think something like just one more half an hour. Okay. Okay. So my thumb is getting more exercise, as you can hear. It's getting a bit nice. So that means that this microphone picks up the sound only close to the mic itself. And I know if I put my mouth closer to the mic, it will sound more close. But it's a good thing in this case, because it means that it won't pick up much of the surrounding noise. I like to hear that. It's good. And webcams tend to pick up all the noise from everywhere. So I think that's one reason that a personal mic like this one is a better choice. I think I will buy another one for co-hosts. All right. Did I forget something? Yes, I forgot something here. A lot of garbage here, and I need to put in the socket. There's a lot of ugly pads here, so let's clean it up first. I think I'm going to use some alcohol for this. And I mean not drink alcohol, but clean it. Alright. IPA all the way. Nice. Let's inspect the top of the socket here. I always want to check it before I put in a ROM socket, because if there's a short or damaged track, it's hard to see it afterwards. I still want to get an ultrasonic cleaner, because cleaning this by hand is such a lot of work, and often leaves some sticky residue behind. So if I should clean it, but of course it's not really important to clean pads like this. But if you want to do it with IPA, it's quite some work. In this case I need to, because I can't see if it's completely clean and there are no shorts there. So let's clean it a bit. The board is quite shiny, so it's hard to see. Yeah, well, Robocop was one of the best sold games for the Spectrum ever in 86 or 87 or something like that. One of the last well-known games of the era. But it's the music is made quite well indeed. Right. This one is done as well, so we're halfway. Opening the holes, cleaning the holes. Now for this, maybe it's good to use the desoldering station. I think it will go faster, but I need to heat it up again, which will take a couple of minutes, as always. So hence I just continue doing it this way. I'm quite fast doing it this way. I don't think it takes more time doing it by hand. It's just more energy, you know. Except if, of course, if you're removing parts, and it's easy enough to do it with the desolder station. You remove the part and open up clean the whole pad at the same time. So that's a benefit, of course. But with the capacitors, it doesn't really matter. Not with these boards. I use the desolder station for other things as well, but this is not really going any quicker doing it that way. And again, that's mainly because of the old solder. Now let's see, those are open. This one hasn't been used, so let's keep it that way. There's the capacitors there. Factory defaults. Yes. Open. Okay, right. Next. Oh, remove the heatsink. For testing, heatsink is not needed. It's a couple of seconds only. So, okay, let's try the pump here. Pump it up. Now I really need to clean it up. I'm not sure which pads are dirty, but I think the one on this side here will show you. I think I cut some pads myself months ago, so if I need to replace it, I can do it easily. No, this one is clean. Why is it messing up then? Is it clogged? I think it's clogged. I have a tool for that. Just a second. Maybe I will buy a better one in the future, because this one isn't really helping much. So let's unclog it. It's not really clogged. So what is it then? Oh, I think it's. I think I see it. This is not the best. Okay. It's still powered on. Let's unpower it for a bit, because it's windy here because of the ventilator. So we will remove the tube, and what I think is just too much in here, especially on the other side here. I need to be careful with the glass, of course. Look, there it is. This is the reason. Look, it's completely clogged up here at the sides. So that's the only reason. Look at this huge blob of solder. And that's the downside of using these. You need to do this quite a lot. I thought it wasn't clogged up that much, but I see it now. And this is messy, you know. You need to, because it's leaded solder, you need to wash your hands quite a lot. We'll do that, of course. We'll do that. It's important when doing this work. Oh, stay on there. Thank you. I'm not cleaning the glass now. No time for that. The only thing I will do is remove some of this stuff here, so we can use this longer before cleaning it next time. Just a bit. So I make these myself, just cut them to the size that's needed. It's a lot cheaper than buying them, and as easy. If you make 10 at a time, you don't need to do it that often, maybe once half a year or something. Alright, let's put it back, and now it will work a lot better. And of course it needs to heat up again, as always. Okay. Power. Look at the huge blob. If it was gold, it would be nice, but it's just tin. It sounds better, but because it's not heated up completely. It's clogging up inside here, you can see. So I have to wait. I just have to wait, and I don't like waiting, but I have to wait. Oh, one more heatsink here, screwed from the back this time. It's not standard, but oh, sorry. They put paste on it. I don't like that. You don't need thermal paste for a 7805. No reason for that. Alright. Oh, paste all everywhere here. You can see a lot of white stuff. Hey Fernando. Yeah, I think so. I think it's in the Rex. I posted a couple of days ago on Facebook. Check it out. So I'm doing a lot of work. Ah, doesn't work at all. Let's open up the holes from the capacitors only here. Why is it not working? As I said, it's just not heating up enough. It's very slow. And the bad thing is that oh god, the sensor for the temperature is somewhere here, but this is not the same temperature. I can prove it when I get my infrared heating temperature sensor. So it's not, the heat is not spread everywhere, and that's it's a bad thing about this soldering station. But anyway, let's try to use it. It sometimes works. As you can see, I'm not a really fan of this equipment. I don't like to wait for so many seconds. You can imagine that it's quicker doing it just by hand with the manual tool. Because I have to wait such a long time. And often still doesn't work. Stupid tool. Okay, let's just do it this way then. Oh, this is clogged up as well now. No, it's not. Alright. So that's the reason I like to do it by hand. Because it's often just not working. I'll show you again. That one worked. Maybe I just haven't found the correct way of using it, I don't know, but it just doesn't work properly. I really have to wait a long time until the solder melts. It means that the tip of the desolder pump or iron is not that hot. So I think it's not a very proper design. I think could have been done better. So let's try this one with the ground plane there. No, that don't. It's completely hard. It won't melt. You can see it won't melt. This is not hot enough. Not enough power on the tip. I don't like it. So in my opinion, it's not going any faster. So we're going to put it away. I'm going to continue by hand. It works better. Look, a lot quicker. Someone replaced all the chips here with different brands. I don't like that, but it's not a big problem. But there's so much flux residue here that they will clean that later on. Let's see, where are we? Right, let's remove this. Oh, this one here. I hope this is easy. Oh. Ah, that's not working though. It's old solder as well, bad quality solder. Let's put some fresh on it. I think this is plugged up now. Yeah, you're right about wiggling the tip, but it's really quicker doing it this way. Takes too long, you ask me. Okay, so someone put some how do you call it? Machine drilled socket in there, which is hard to get out, but I will get it out eventually. And put in another one. Again, I feel like a dentist doing this. I don't even like dentists. It's hot. So the Z80 also seems to have been replaced, so I guess this board has had some damage in the past. Not sure why. TR3 and 4 and 5 have been replaced. Only 5-volt regulator hasn't. So I think there was some low memory error, and maybe they thought it was a ROM or something. Not sure. Who can tell? Alright, let's get this out. Carefully. Yep, that's one. Because it's not even an IC socket, it's just some strips of socket type thing. It can work, but I don't like it. Where's my desolder pump? Alright. That should be it. Very nice. No damage on top. Let's clean it before putting in the new socket because it's very dirty. Lots of flux remains. Good question, Patrick. I got so many boards in. I don't know from the head. everything can be repaired. But some boards can have some tough problems. Happens. So you can see how yellow the removed or replaced chips are, the sockets. There's so much flux on the board. So this is one. Let's put in this one here. I like this socket a lot better. So tomorrow I'm going to ship 30 or 40 boxes with orders. Some contain 2 or more orders from one person. Okay. Right. So leaving the other stuff, we'll check that later on. Oh, why did it do this? Why did it put in a socket for the RAM selection? Why? There's no reason for that. And for 864 types, okay. Man, what did they do here? TI and Oki. What kind of selection is that? Oh, I'm not sure if this is even supposed to work, but we'll find it out later. Not now. It's not a problem at this moment. Let's just leave it for now. Okay, these ones are cleaned. Let's get to the next board. So we can put in new capacitors soon. You can see how much quicker this is. Even those holes get opened quickly, easily. Which one? That's no problem. Close it if I want to. Let's close it up. Right. And there. Yes. Alright, oh, don't drop it. Don't drop it. Yeah, Patrick, I try to do a weekly show now every Friday. Sometimes it's quite hard because I'm stressed with all the work, but I think it's good to do it. I just need to find ways of lowering the stress, amount of stress, which is sometimes hard. Especially when people are asking about the status of their order, and they're totally right when they've been waiting for 2 weeks or longer. But I know I still have a backlog of just over more than 2 weeks. I think even more than 3 weeks for some. So it's hard. And the worst thing is that some people who placed an order are complaining only after a couple of days, even though it's stated on the web shop, for example, that there's a delay of about 2 weeks at this moment. And others just wait. So the thing is that I want to do things in the correct sequence, so the oldest orders first. But that is sometimes quite hard. I can see some damage on the pad there, so I still hope that works. I guess the track is on the top here. So someone replaced that chip. Didn't do a good job. Ugh. Different chips, I don't like that at all. So I might replace it again, but maybe I won't, because it's soldered in the board and there's already some damage, so maybe I will leave it that way. Right. Okay. And so one more. There's dust on this one, very dusty. Let's clean off the dust. It's a bit better. I have some air going that direction. So from left to the right, and then it's pulled up, and there's an extraction node above me, so air isn't the biggest problem. Sorry, dust is the biggest problem, that's what I meant to say. Please, Patrick, the question you have for Friday, the show on Friday, if you put that in the comments on this video, then I can find it more easy after the show, or after this stream. So put it in the comment on the video, and I will process it. I am curious about your question, so leave it there and I will pick it up, because I will get notified about those comments. It's easier to do it that way than checking the chat later on, you know. And I still need to process loads of messages, by the way, so I'm behind with that as well. As always. Sorry. You can see I'm not sitting still, I'm doing a lot of work. This is just a small part of all the work. And I want to catch up, and then I want to sorry, I bumped the mic. Then I want to catch up, and I want to get to new products, because I have loads of things waiting for quite a while. So I think we're done with the capacitors, removing them. So this is the result. If anyone wants them, send me money. No, just joking. You can send me super chats if you want to, though. But old capacitors. Who wants to have old capacitors? I don't think anyone wants. If someone has a good idea to use them, and I won't blend them or something, I won't do that. But if someone has a good idea how to reuse those caps, of course not electrically, but for some other purpose, then let me know. Alright, let's get to the replacement parts. Where did I leave the box? Oh, on the floor. Oh, why did I put it on the floor? Alright. The good thing is, I can just open it up and put the boards in there, and that's the fun part of it. So, let's get capacitors. Let's get them in. One. So I hope this will go quickly. I have to cut off all the legs. That's the only thing I don't like to do, but I hope I opened up all the holes, but there's always one or two that I forgot. So it shouldn't surprise me. So the main ones I do just from memory. And, there are some differences between boards in this corner here. We'll do that later. Have a nice day, Patrick. We'll see your question later. Thank you. So he was at work. At least someone is. I'm at work as well, as you can see. Right, 1 micro. Yep, and 4.7. This is the 4.7. The one needs to be on top. It's probably the male capacitor, and this is a female because this is on below it. Then we get to another 1 micro. Just joking, guys. Just joking. Just joking. Don't want to get me too's and so, you know. Alright, this is an issue 3 board, so I have to check here on the board. have to check here which of the three capacitors and which of the orientations I need. So for an issue 3 board, it's a 22 with the positive polarity on top. And that's all, I think. So I'm going to start soldering this on top, which is easier for flipping the board upside down. And these capacitor maps are very helpful doing this. They haven't let me down, and believe it or not, there's even a fix for a fault or an error in on the board. The symbol on the board for an issue 2 board. One capacitor has the plus side printed on the wrong side of the capacitor, which is very important. And if you don't believe me, don't. But I'm not joking. I've done this plenty of times. You can check it on one of your original issue 2 boards if you want to. You can find the capacitor maps on Vitalite, so just Google for Vitalite capacitor maps and you will find them. Okay, that's the first. Let's get the side cutter. Where to leave the side cutter? Alright, that's the first. New caps. New caps on the board. Where can I leave the boards? So I'll put it in that way for now. Okay. 1. This is an issue 3 again. I think the previous one was an issue 3 as well. So we have second issue 3 here. Reset cap. Then this one was a 22 aimed to the top. Double checking. There's a plus symbol there as well, so cannot really do it the correct way. Oh, I made a mistake. I need to get the other one out because this was a 47 instead of 4.7. That is stupid. We'll do it in a second. Let's first do these ones. I wish I had more space. I really would like to rent a real business space because it's hard to do it with only this space for soldering, you know, but I still do it because it's possible. It's just not efficient. Let's get to the other board for a second. So I put in a 47 instead of 4.7. My bad. As you can see, with a fresh solder, that's easy to replace. Oh, of course. Right. Done. Let's get back to this one here. 100, sorry. So I think tomorrow I will work on some refurbishments from boards from customers, which I've been waiting with way too long, so they really deserve my attention now. Even those from Mark Kloosterman, Dutch friend who has a quite nice collection of ZX Spectrums and clones and all sort of stuff. Got some of his machines still, so I need to do a lot of work. I need just to get it going, and I know it's hard because I also should do a lot of other things, like create more DiffMC Pro 1s and ZX HDs. Oh man, it's hard to decide what to do first. I just want to get as efficient as possible and get as much things done that I can in a day. That's what I'm trying to do here. Oh, this one hasn't been bent. Why is that? They were all bent, except this one. You're for a given capacitor. Next time, bend for me. Actually, the kids, my kids like doing that. And when they help me out with things like that, I have a tool for it, by the way. They get some stuff like Sims 4 upgrade packs or Roblox points or something else. You know, all the modern gaming stuff. Alright, third one. I'm going to put one microfarad here because I cannot reach it, and I can reach 4.7 if I do it this way. So let's keep it this way. Alright, reset cap. Oh. Don't go anywhere. This is again an issue free. I didn't select them on purpose, just got so many of them, I think. Right. But this was the, no, this wasn't just a plain issue free, I don't know. Oh, there's a hole closed, told you. I will find some with the hole still closed. Right. Two more. One on the left here. One more. Right. 100s. These PSA capacitors are getting more expensive, so I try to find them in other sources. It's a bit of a pity because, as you can see, I use them a lot. So I hope to find some batches for a better price in the future. Because usually capacitors are not that expensive, but if you want to get a decent quality, especially like Iron Daddle says, when you're using capacitors in power supplies that can generate heat inside, then it's important to have those gold capacitors, as you can call them, from, for example, Panasonic. Those are especially quite expensive, so capacitors aren't always cheap, and I bought some in the past from China. I'm not doing that anymore because the quality from China isn't reliable enough, especially with the lower values, the pico and nanofarad capacitors. Some are just creating shorts or are not any close to their specified values. So I try to buy them from brands here in Holland, and they are more expensive, but quality is important. Let's see, 4.7. It's just bad if you send, for example, a hardening kit to someone and he tells you that one or two of the capacitors are creating shorts. That's just insane. And so I don't like to include those anymore. Oh, I just like to include good ones. What did I do here? I'm messing it up. Messing up my chair and the floor. It's a big mess. Right. Okay, where was I? I think we can flip the board now. Yeah, I think so. There was a short there, so I'm glad I saw it. The soldering quality here is very bad, but anyway, it's not my work. I think I will clean it before testing this board, but maybe we'll do a short test. But all right, next one. Okay, I will do this one at last because this one has more capacitor in it. Let's do the simple ones first. Right. So 22s. So I think this has taken about 2 hours in total. Imagine that. So 8 boards, 2 hours, so 15 minutes each, only for swapping the capacitors. It's quite a lot of time, you know. You can see it's if you want to make a living of it, it's only swapping the capacitors without the cost of the capacitor itself costs you about 10 or 15 euros. If you don't use that rate, so for 40 euro an hour or something, you cannot make a living of it. It's impossible. Some people don't like my prices, especially the Eastern European people. I've heard that more often. Oh, did I put in the wrong one again? No, I don't think so. This way. But you know, I have to pay my rent, and that's not quite a low amount. So just need to get to 40 or 50 euro an hour. It's important. Cannot make anything else from that. This is a 6A. Let me check again. So 6A has a 1 microfarad here in here. Pointing up again. There's no plus sign there, by the way. Or there is, but it's almost not noticeable anymore. And then on the bottom it has a 22. Aim to the right. There should be a plus there. Yeah, there's a plus. Right. And then 2 times 100. So one more reason for not only swapping capacitors, if someone asks for it, is that it's not worth shipping it over to me, because shipping it to me costs you something like 10 euro, so I don't know. And if you only want me to do the capacitors, then you will pay about 30 euro for only the capacitor swap, and that's quite a lot. And if you do that, then I would say just consider having the rest refurbished as well, because the refurbishing of the ZX Spectrum nowadays is quite a standard amount of work. So the heatsink, Traco Power regulator, or another brand by the way. Traco Power is not really necessary, but everyone knows those types because they were the first with the 7805 replacement module, I think. But nowadays you have the Recom and the other brands. Those are as good. But still, I have loads of boards waiting for refurbishment from the customers, so there's a lot of work to do. These are mine, but a couple of these are sold, so I need to get them ready. I'm getting a bit of bored doing 8 boards, but I have 4 more to do, so we'll finish that. And I really would like to do a quick test, but maybe I want to get a cup of coffee or something else before that. We'll see. Made noodles myself today, noodle soup, fresh Chinese noodles, and some chicken added to that. It was good. But coffee is important. I cannot live without coffee. Alright. Nice, another one. 4, yeah, 4 indeed. Let's take a couple more 1 microfarads here, we need more of these. Oops. Now, come on, get out. Okay. 4.7. One. 22. Yeah, another hole that isn't really open. Oh. 22. Yeah, Thomas, I sometimes can do without a wife, but I cannot do without coffee. I hope she's not listening. I will get punished tonight. Alright, 100. And I won't dare to say something like that about my kids because they will punish me immediately. But anyway. Three more boards after this one. I have the feeling that it has been over 2 hours, but I'm not sure. Maybe it's less. Don't know how long the stream has been going on. This is in 4B, issue 4B, so we need a 22 on the bottom here. And we need a 1 microfarad here. Aimed upwards. me check again. Yep, and one more for the reset cap. All right. This board is so shiny, it's hard to see all the legs sticking out here. I think we got them all. All right. Another one done. Well, not completely done, but at least the capacitors. Okay. 4.7. 1. 22. And one more. One here. One micro in here. Okay, this is an issue for S, and for S, what does it have here? It has a That's what I was afraid of. I think I do not. Oh, I did have 4S on it, so where is 4S in here? Issue 4B, 6 or 6A? Oh, 4S is there. Okay, 22, I see it. Yeah, just that away. Okay. Coffee. Light coffee. Still so many people watching. You have coffee, guys? I'm taking a coffee break for a second. Who is handing out the dislikes? I wonder who it is. Of course you're allowed to. I don't mind. It's still, there's always one person that gives a dislike. Oh no, more orders coming in. Someone made a review of the Harlequin kit. Oh no, sorry, the HD, Celix HD, it's on YouTube. Take a look later. Some order of a Kempson Mouse Turbo, a Sprecky breadboard and strobe levels. Cool, thank you Sam. I'm not sure if you're online, but what else do we have here? Some more emails, some packages coming in. I needed some pin headers, and I usually order them in China, but the orders I've standing out still are still on their way, so I have to buy them at Farnell, and one strip of pin headers at Farnell cost over €1 each. It's insanely expensive buying those at Farnell. Anyway, loads of orders today. Right. That was good coffee. So we replaced a rubber ring, a silicone ring, in our coffee machine, automated coffee machine, 2 weeks ago, and the coffee is a lot better since then, a lot better. So I hope it can keep up that quality for a while now. But I know I have to replace the grinder in time, but not at this moment. So we can again just push a button and get coffee, and that's the best thing there is, you know. Push a button and get coffee. I wish everything worked like that. Like I don't know. What would you like to just be able to push and get? Name something, and please keep it decent. What would you like to push a button and just get? Nice things like I don't know, push a button and get your work done for a day or something. That would be nice. Push a button and have someone else work for you. I don't know. No, I said keep it decent. What would you like to just be able to push and get it done? Oh, for example, nice things in life, like some very nice fruits or so. You know, a bowl of fruit. I would like to push a button and get a bowl of fruit, because if I prepare fruit for the kids in the evening, for example, after dinner, way after dinner, when we're watching some YouTube stuff or so, I don't know, then I tend to create one bowl with all kinds of fruits. So strawberries, raspberries, oranges, apple, and just mix it together, maybe some banana, and then everyone can get as much as he likes, but that takes some time to prepare, you know. I wish that could go faster in life, but on the other hand, it's a luxury to just be able to do that in the evening. I know many people don't have even fresh fruits. Okay, what did I forget here? Oh, I desoldered a leg here from a small capacitor. Let's put it back. Alright, I think this is done. Looks nice. Oh yeah, tea. Oh man, that's a good one. Oh, Earl Grey tea. I like that a lot. But Picard doesn't even have to push a button for that, of course. But I could just order. I can just order it. I will show you. I will show you how it works. I'll push a button here. I'll push a button, and I will try to get some. Let me see if it works. Steve, you give me an idea. Mag ik een kannetje Earl Grey? Oké. It works. Let's see. I'm off for a late lunch. Okay. Thank you, Dimitri. You're always welcome back for more. Sam is my girlfriend. Sam? Those toys are for me. Which Sam? Being British, I need a button to turn on some nice weather. Yeah, that's true. For tea. Okay, yeah. Okay, I like Earl Grey. It's about the only tea I drink, except if I'm stressed, then I shouldn't drink Earl Grey tea, but I will drink some herbal tea or something. But usually I like Earl Grey a lot. Only black Earl Grey. Don't put anything in it. I hate it. And it must be strong. The spoon must stand still in it, you know. Except I'm not using a spoon. But anyway, if I would use a spoon, it shouldn't move when you put it in. Strong tea. The only problem is with strong tea or strong coffee, it will make you stressed. If you're not there yet, it will make you stressed. Anyway. Alright, for some, what in it? In it? What is in it? What's in it? I don't know. I'm Dutch, Steve. Try to make it understandable for me, please. Anyway. I even often don't get the jokes, the British jokes, like someone who once called the ZXHD, I thought he was cursing at it. Something like the shit or the dog shit or something, I don't know, I forgot it. But sorry YouTube, sorry, please don't ban me for saying this. Just repeating, I'm praising someone else. But that was a good thing what he was shouting it out. He liked it. Oh man. Anyway, 2 more boards. So I left the hard one for the last. Saving it for the last. Isn't it? Oh, yeah. Yeah, sorry. I get it now. I'm stupid, I know. Okay, in issue 3B. In issue 3B needs a 22. 22. In here. I think everything is in already. That's the thing I often have, that when I'm doing something which takes loads of steps, sometimes I'm just surprised that it's done, and I can't believe it, and I hate it when something is done and I didn't think it was done yet, because I hate it, because in my mind I had to do more stuff, and for artists like me it's frustrating when you have something in mind which is not completed, or you know, that's one of the problematic things for people like me. But I just have to cope with that. It's a feeling. It's nothing special. Alright. I think you will be surprised, guys. I'll show you in a second what I mean. I have my coaster here. I have a couple of more made ready, but these are quite a lot of work to craft manually, because of the glue that's needed and because of cutting it out exactly the same size as the board itself. So I will offer these kinds of coasters. I have more types of these, but they won't be cheap. I think something like €5 each or so, because it takes 5 to 10 minutes to make one. But I like them to use them. This one has been used a lot. It's not clean anymore. I'm not sure if you can see it, but strong coffee. No, normal coffee is water. Yeah, you're totally right, Thomas. You will like our coffee. Dog's bollocks. Yeah, that was it. Oh, great. Is it really a common phrase, Steve, in the UK? I wonder. I just wonder. Is it used a lot? I often think of myself that my English is quite good, and I try to speak without too much of a dialect, but some things I just don't get. Oh, anyway, as I said, I was born in the wrong country. It's not my fault. My mother comes from Indonesia when she was 4. My father comes from Arnhem, so it's just pure 100% Dutch. So there's no way for me getting to the UK at a young age. Although maybe I was about 10 or somewhat like that, something like that, when I got my first Spectrum. Maybe they could have sold me to someone in the UK fixing computers for a living or something. I don't know. I would do this for a living when I was 10. I would like to, even at that age, I would like doing that. So you should have sold me as someone's repair slave or sorry, that's bad. Oh, let's just stop this. Okay. Where's my tea? Oh, sorry guys. Oh, this is bad. All right. So another board done, I think. Used to be common. Yeah, sick. Oh. Both Steves say it's a common phrase, so I believe you. If both Steves say, then it must be so. Right. Ik pak hem even aan. Look. It's completely filled with Earl Grey tea. It's hot Earl Grey and strong. I think she used two sacks of tea. And an empty cup. And there's a spoon in there because sometimes I like, sorry for that, but I like to put a little honey in it. Sometimes. No sugar, only honey. Maybe that is cursing, putting honey in your Earl Grey tea, I don't know. ASMR. Anyway, let's get back to work. Let's finish this last board. So it worked. I only had to press a button. Does it work for you guys? I know. I actually know that Steve takes care of his wife in the other way, so I think you will get her tea. That's good. Oh. In Holland, many people drink tea, but more people drink coffee. And in Russia, they drink vodka. I like vodka as well. So I drink quite a lot of vodka. I like it. But not when I'm working. I'm completely sober at this moment. Coffee drinker, oh that's interesting. But is she as busy as I am? Is she as does she talk as much as I do because of the coffee? Just joking. All right. What do I need to get in here? This is a 4A. I forgot to open the holes again. No, there's no need to put in one here. Sorry, one here because the one that should go in there is put on top here. Factory default. All right. Okay, Steve, see you later, man. One of the Steves, that is. Right. So the last board. This is actually about the dirtiest board. It's corroded a bit. I hope it's not causing any problems in the future. Because I sell these boards. When I sell these boards refurbished, I give I think a year warranty with them. But of course, lots of things can go wrong with the age of these boards. So when the original ULA chip is in, for example, it can just die even with the heatsink. But adding a heatsink will make it last for quite a lot longer. It's very likely that it will last quite a lot longer. Especially when these chips become 30 or 45 years old. It's really important to do that, because otherwise they can just die in 30 minutes or something, you know, because of the heat. Those chips do tend to get worse in time. That's mainly because those are made in a special process with so that you have to bare chips, and then the customer specific, let's call it code, is added to it. And Sinclair uses quite a lot of the analog parts inside the ULA chip, so it gets hot and gets old. But it's just a brilliant chip if you think of it. There wasn't any other way of getting so much features packed into one chip like Sinclair did it back then. It's brilliant, and many people know that. What's this? Right. Let's see how it looks. Yeah. Alright, so that's okay. So we're going to do the remaining two capacitors. So this one is aiming pluses on the right side, and it corresponds to my schematic here. I can show you here. To this one here, above my thumb. So that's 1 microfarad. So let's get it out first. All right. That's 1. 2. Oh, I don't like this. A lot of garbage coming out of the pump. Sorry for the bumping. Just want to get the garbage out. Right. Still some garbage in here, but not that much. So 1 microfarad, a new one. This one needs the legs sit to this exact size of the capacitor, so let's pull them back a bit. So this way, instead of some distance. So aimed to the right. So this is how it should go in. So I hope I can also motivate some people doing this yourself, because it's not the hardest job, but you need to be careful not causing shorts by remaining solder blobs, you know. So use your eyes quite a lot. Especially with the ones at these strange positions. Alright, that's 1. And we got one here on the bottom, flying. So I will lift one side first, and we will get it in the same way as it is now. Alright, let's see. Okay, so let's do it exactly the same way. Whoop, and something like this. Now we can get it out. It doesn't want to get out. Why not? Oh, it's angled. It's out. Right, let's put some fresh solder in there. And then we can put it back. Okay, now the other side. So always take a good look at the putting something like this back in. And it could be wise to just make a photo before doing it. If you're doubting in any way, then you can look up my capacitor maps like I'm using myself. So these ones here. Oh, those are very useful, I think. I also offer the capacitor kits. Maybe I can put it in the description. So you can buy all the capacitors needed for your board in one kit with the capacitor map printed. I think it's included. I have to check, by the way. I think so. Oh. Right. Let's check if they're all nice. I like to make them look good as well. So this is done. This one is done as well. Right. So now it's time for some testing, I think. Before doing that, we're going to use the ZX die card, of course. So there goes the light. First one is a good camera, so it will compensate for that. It's a mess here. A lot of dust. I'm not sure if you can see it, but so the edge connector needs to be clean, otherwise the die card will not work. And this one is very dirty, as you can see. Look how dirty it is. You could see it already before doing it. So that's what I said. This is one of the dirtiest boards I had in the stack. Sorry. That's one. It's a lot better. Often the bottom is not that bad, but it's still dirty, so let's just clean it thoroughly as well. That's two. And also I'm thinking what else I needed to check before testing them in a moment. Oh yeah, of course, if they have a composite video output, we'll do that as well, and then we'll do that in the next run. This one's quite clean. It's not that bad. Right, next one, the Samsung one. Loads of cotton swabs here. Oh, this one is dirty as well. Ugh. And I got liters of IPA, so make sure you have a lot of that is in stock as well. It's cheap stuff. Don't pay more than €3 something for a bottle of a liter. It's cheap stuff if you find it at the correct address. And of course, if you buy it online, then you have to pay shipping costs and so. But IPA is not expensive. It's pure alcohol. It's cheap. Only alcohol in what you drink is expensive because of the government taxes on it. This one is dirty as well, so I'm going to give it a more clean. Not sure what device has been on here, because they're very sharp stripes on the edge connector. So I wonder what this has been, but I think it's clean enough now. I usually do not do anything else than clean it with cotton swabs. But if someone has been soldering on the edge connector or something else, you can sand it a bit, but it's a dangerous thing to do because it's easy to sand too much of, and you cannot put back tracks on the board, you know. You can solder it again, but solder is soft and copper is a bit harder than that. So just be careful. I only use IPA usually. I have a fiber brush if I need to. So something like this here, let me grab it. So for the really dirty ones, I use this fiberglass pen. So, but I don't think you should sand it, except if it's really corroded or something. Then I can imagine that you should do something like that. So this board has been used a lot with interface. You can see because there's some copper at the edges. You can see some copper at the edges. It's very dirty as well. So I think loads of interfaces have been going off on this board here. So it's still dirty. What the hell? But it's also one of the most modified boards I've been using today. So I guess this one has been for someone for years. It's still dirty. What's coming up here, man? It's still dirty. Dirty. Yeah, still a lot of dirt. Just dirt. Nothing more, just dirt. And oh, I'm afraid this one has been resolid. I can feel thickness. Oh, that's not good. So I get the feeling that someone put new solder on this here. You shouldn't. Oh, you can see it clearly here. Oh man, okay. We have to use the soldering iron for this. So don't do that. Don't put new solder on the edge connector. Sorry, if you do it, you can do it, by the way. But use a solder wick to get the excessive amount of solder from the edge connector again, like we're going to do now. So let's give it a quick clean first, because it's so dirty. And this will cause problems with interfaces. It will cause bent pins on edge connectors and more. So don't leave so much solder on your edge connector, please. So we're going to give it a reflow. That's first, and we're going to remove all the solder again and make it as smooth as possible. Right, with solder wick. And we must do this quickly, because otherwise we will heat up the pads too much, and we will lift up the pads from the board. That's not what we want. You can see how much wick this takes, and it's a bit of a waste, but anyway. Wick I use that isn't that expensive, so it's not a big problem. I think I will have to order more wick soon. Right, now let's give it a new clean and see if it's smooth. Looks a lot better. There's a bit left, so I have to use the wick just one more time. Mainly here. A bit there, so now it's completely smooth again. And looks quite nice as well. That's the benefit of doing this, of course. So, this is smooth. Smooth again. Now the other side. Same thing here. Okay, that one is gone. Oh, and before continuing, we need to do two more things. So first, check the composite video output, if it's modded already, and also check the DC input, power input sockets, because it's easy to replace them. Why not now? So, please again, do not put excessive solder on your edge connector, otherwise you will kill your interfaces. Or at least the pins of your edge connectors on the interfaces. It's no good. There's no need for it as well, because you can just clean it. The only reason for applying new solder on your edge connector is when you see copper. I have it a lot with some of my machines. So you can do that, but oh, I'm messing up with alcohol here. But if you do that, make sure you remove the excessive amount of solder, like removing excessive amounts of IPA here. Alright, it's a lot better. Still a little bit of solder left here, so I'm going to remove just a bit more in a second. It's a lot better than it was, so I'm already happy. Because of bent pins, Chris, if you do that, your interfaces will get bent pins in the edge connectors. The Spectrum boards already have the downside that the edge connectors do not have angled edges or rounded edges. Many other boards have rounded edges, so some edge connectors cannot fit on the Spectrum boards easily because they're just flat at the back, you know. But if you have too much solder on the pads on the edge connector, the pins will really get bent. I've seen it so many times, and if it didn't happen to you, okay. Some edge connectors might have very wide openings for the pins. Of course, it's possible, but there are so many interfaces that have edge connectors where the pins are very close to each other, and with a little too much of solder on the pads here, it can go wrong. And I've seen it so many times. People have sent me back their stuff for it, so be careful with that. There's really no need. It doesn't do anything. Adding more solder doesn't help with getting a proper contact. Cleaning helps getting a proper contact, so there's no need for adding too much solder in it. And you see it's completely clean now. It looks like new, almost. A lot better. Now I trust these edge connectors now. I wouldn't put my interface on it if I see excessive amounts of solder. Alright. Hey Jan, good afternoon. Let's drink some tea. It could have been a bit stronger, but alright, time for some composite video checks. I see this one has already been modified. This one hasn't. What do we hear in the back? I hear someone talking. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. This is the nostalgia nerd. I need ZX Spectrum music. Please give me some ZX Spectrum music. I need more. We'll just put on something else, like this one here. Alright. We were modding some video outputs. I've never used something else than the way I'm doing it now. So just connect the video input to the RF connector directly. I don't see any need for adding capacitors or so, but some people do. And I'm using many TVs here, so maybe some TVs are don't like the DC offset. I don't know. I don't think it's a big problem. Oh, but this one has been done. I always remove the 5 volts here. That's also a way I can see it has been modded. The next. This seems to have been modded as well. Let me check. Yep. This one hasn't. The Samsung one, which will probably get the worst video output because of the Samsung transistors that have been used, which are worse than the ones that Sinclair used. Right. This wire is a bit short, but I think it's just enough. Yeah, it's enough. Oh, sorry. Next one. Okay, another one that still needs the modification. Ah, what the hell? Okay. What the heck? Yep. So that means that we have been streaming for 2 hours now, because the previous video was, I think, 2 hours, or was it 2.5? I don't know. Maybe it was longer. And this one also needs the modification. Yep. Okay. Wunderbar. All right. Okay. Now the last thing before testing, I think, is the DC socket check. And the ones that are corroded or look bad, you're going to replace. So the machine won't crash when you bump against your ZX Spectrum later on, you know. It's just a wire. Doesn't using a capacitor change the brightness of the image? Maybe, I don't know. I think it usually is quite good. But I think adding a capacitor also adds some problems with some TVs, so since I didn't have any problem with doing the modification without it, and I've heard none of my customers have been complaining about it, so I think it's good enough this way. Oh, it's odd. This one shouldn't be in here. Right. Solder it back in. Don't heat them too much because the plastic of these connectors melt quite easily. It's the downside of using a powerful solder iron. This one seems to have gone quite nicely, so that's the first. Let's see. I think this one is still good. It's a bit corroded, so let's get it out. Let's get in brand new ones. Oh, don't drop. Okay. Second one. This one, ugh, 30 as well. Don't tell me I need to replace them all. That would suck. Fortunately, my pump will suck. Do the sucking. Oh, it's so dirty here. You can see how quick this solder iron is. So that's a good thing about it. But see, the only good thing about this weather. And that this could use some cleaning because I can see some solder blob residue here, but we'll do that later on. We'll do the test first. Maybe it will brighten the video output, but of course you have a brightness setting on your TV, and I didn't have any problem with any of my TVs with just using the standard composite video signal, and I'm not sure if it will improve a lot. I don't think so. Maybe it will improve it slightly, but there are other ways getting there, you know. Oh, it's windy again outside, so this one also needs replacement. I'm always thinking that all these boards need the new DC socket. That's not a big issue. It just costs time. And indeed, the ZX HD, if you want perfect video output, you can do that. By the way, some people may have had a board with the LM1889 substitute chip, so the small one, which is the SN something something. Come, clean up, you damn tool. Yeah, it's out. And that one, we'll look up a board. There's one in the stock. That chip actually has a very poor video output, so maybe that's a cause for some people to have a very dark picture, or some ZX Spectrum boards, of course, not for the people. If you have a very dark picture yourself, then maybe it's time for new glasses, or cleaning them maybe, or just look in the mirror and see that you picked your sunglasses instead of the normal glasses. But when it comes to ZX Spectrum, I don't see any reason of using capacitors or transistors on the video output. Right. Nice. Another one. I want to get to testing, guys. Yeah, this one is good enough. It's clean, it's a bit colored, but it's not dirty. This one is dirty. Oh, I have two more boards there, of course. Which I also need to check if there comes a video yet. Alright. Alright. Nice. Okay. So these two ended with, this one needs a replacement, that one as well, and this one has composite video, and that one also has composite video, so that's no problem. Only the DC sockets. Oh, that one doesn't have a UDA's chip. That's a pity. Why didn't I see that earlier? But we can test it with one of the chips of the other boards if it works. As I said, it's better to test the UDA chip on another board first, but there's always a chance of damaging a UDA chip when there's something else wrong with the board. Can happen. Why doesn't this one like to get out? What's wrong with it? It's stuck for some reason. I don't know. It was very dirty. clogged. It's really stuck. If I'm stronger, I will win. No, I won't. So there's some block inside somewhere. Let me check. Where is it? Yeah, there it is. It's out. Let it all out. I don't wear glasses, so I have no idea if that is a problem. Of course, only sunglasses in the car sometimes, but... It's a real mess. There's a lot of solder residue everywhere here. Even on my lap. Anyway, sort it out later on. Which game was that again? I forgot it, but I like the tune. Let's use some gravity for the excessive amount of solder here, so that's done. I really need to get the vacuum here. So much solder dust here. So even my vacuum cleaner has a remote. I like it. Still 20 people are watching, wow. Alright, I see some people on the email complaining about their order status. So I really need to hurry. They're totally right. Maybe you're seeing that I'm streaming and thinking that I'm not doing anything for the orders, but that's not true. One of them actually completed his order today. So, right, I think one more DC socket, and then we're done. This one's nice. Alright, there's always one thing that I don't like, and that's the positioning of the speaker. I tend to move them into a better place on the board. This way, just aligning them a bit. And it's also required to do the modification for the ROM later on, but not now. If you wonder why I'm not putting in ROMs, that's not needed for the diagnostic tests. We don't need a ROM because the ZX die card will test with its own diagnostic software inside its own ROM, so that's okay. It will give an error when it's testing the ZX Spectrum ROM, of course, but it's not something that the diagnostic software will cope with. You can see this speaker is a bit aimed to the sky, so let's have it fall down again. Land on the board. Right. This one is good. This one is could be a bit better. Right. Something is totally out of alignment, so let's put it back as well. Yep. And I think we're finally able to get to the test corner. We'll just move the second camera, because the one aimed at my face, I will move to the other side of the room. Right, switching of power from the soldering station here. Alright, I think we can get there. Oh, I put some autos over here, just a second. I need to move them. Not too much. Okay, let's move the camera. We can do it this way so you cannot see. I'm moving the camera now. Right. Let's see, how does this look? That's quite good. Is the microphone still working? Yep. Okay, let's move it a bit more. Okay. Let's get all the boards over there. And now I will make notes which one are working and which are not. That's one stack. You can almost not see them because they're in the corner. And the other ones. Let's get some paper and a pen. I will use pink paper today. Alright, what do you think, guys? How many will we get working? I think a couple will work and a couple won't. This one doesn't have a ROM, but if it shows vertical bars, it's okay. Yeah, this is working. Let's put on the die card and see. This one... no, it's nothing. Okay. Let's see, so we can do a short test because there's no heatsink here on the 7805, so we can do a short test and see everything is working, and it will pass the ROM test. You might have to press a button. Let's put in the keyboard here and put in the audio as well, because otherwise the speaker's beeping. Right. This seems to be working just fine. All the LEDs for the power lines are working perfectly. Nice. That's the first one that's okay. So if you wonder what this is the die card and the die card software which is running at this moment, which is quite useful. Let me check if the M1 is, yeah, M1 is working as well. And one line of this board of the CPU. Alright, first one is working, just needs a ROM. Nope. So this one is okay. Perfect. So we can finish this with the ROM and with the heatsink on the ULA chip, although it's hard to do because we don't have a ROM. So first I have to put in a ROM, replace the 7805, and then I have to see if the ULA chip is completely working before putting on a heatsink, and that's important. Otherwise you need to get it out again, you know, if the tape input, for example, is not working. It happens quite a lot actually. Let's see what it does with a ROM. Oh, it does nothing, so that's not a good sign. So I guess there's something else wrong with this board. Let's see what it does here. It does boot up the Diagnostic software, so maybe it's okay after all. Let's see what it says. It doesn't find a ROM. Yeah, okay. Okay, there's nothing wrong it seems. So M1 is working as well. CPU is okay. Let's see if upper RAM is okay. Upper RAM seems to be working just fine. So another okay. Very nice. 2 out of 2 so far. Let's put the working boards here. I cannot move these on the table because that will scratch a lot of paint of the table. I don't like that. Third board. Another ROM missing, but it's for later. Vertical bars, that's a good sign. Vertical scrolling bars. Alright, this seems to be okay as well. Let's see if upper RAM is okay. This seems to be a 3 out of 3, which is nice. M1 is working. Upper RAM is also working. This is a okay 3 out of 3. I'm very happy with that. Saves a lot of time, as you can imagine. Of course, lots of tests need to be done. We'll show you how we'll test these boards. I always use these booklets for that, if I can get them out. Come here. So I use these refurbish and repair stories. So every board gets a booklet like this, which shows some characteristics of this board, the issue number, and what repairs needed to be done, but also all the tests that are performed and some more information. That's just something I like to include. Alright, let's get to the fourth board. Oh, this one doesn't have a ULA chip. Let's see if I get a spare one. There's an issue 3 board, so it needs to type 6 ULA chip. Do I have a spare ULA chip? Let's see, ULAs. Yeah, I got loads of them. Not an endless amount, and the socket of the ULA chip is upside down, but who cares about that? If you know what you're doing, it's not a big problem. Ooh, this is not good. We have a 12 volt problem here. So I'm shutting it down immediately because I don't want to take any risk with the ULA chip that I just put in, and that's the reason that I got the other ULA chip out, most probably. Okay, let's put it here. Let's get to the next. This doesn't seem to be working, but we just seen that it's not necessarily the case. Okay, this one really has a problem. What can I see? There's no ROM select signal. Maybe the ROM chip is faulty, I'm not sure. Could be the Z80. There is some activity, but not much. I can see some data lines having problems here. Now it's the D5. So do I have a stuck D5? No, there's loads of things going on here. It's not only one problem. I think it's a Z80. I would like to check that out in a second. Z80 question mark. So we can pull out the SGS Z80 and see if that is indeed a cause. I would like to do that. Let's see how the Samsung board does. Yeah. You can see the quality of the video output is worse. That's because that one transistor that need to be replaced with a ZTX3 or 230. Now I have to check. And one is working. Let's see about upper memory. Oh, keyboard. So it's the video output is awful. It's hey, oh, there's a ROM inside. No problem. It's just one transistor. If you want to know, it's one transistor. All right, this board is okay. 4 boards out of 6 so far. Perfect. 2 more to go, and the one with the probably Z80 fault. All right. Let's see about upper RAM. All the lines are working. So that's the usefulness of the ZX die card. You can see what is working and what is not working quite quickly. Okay, another board that is okay. With the same bad transistor for video output, we will replace that later on. And the last board. So until now we're doing quite well. 5 boards done from 8. Just need some more testing and ULA, heatsink and trigger power. Okay, we have a problem with video output, but it's just a connector it seems. Let's try it again. I saw something, but the connector is very dirty. Let's clean up the connector. That needs to be sanded. Alright, let's get to the other camera here. Okay, let's use this one, why not? Sanding paper. So I've had this before. The output connector is just corroded. So I'm just doing this. This will make it clean enough. Most of the time. This one is quite dirty, so maybe you have to do it twice, not sure. We'll use some IPA in a second. I think that should be enough. Would this be enough? I hope so. Could also be the inside, so maybe we can check that. The inside doesn't look bad. I think it's just the outside of the connector. Let's see if it was enough. It's better. It's not perfect, but it's better. It's just my connector that I'm using on it. Okay, this one already booted. I could hear that. I don't have any audio output, or maybe it's too low the volume. Okay. We'll do it again. Oh, this connector is bad. that important. Alright, the last one, it seems to work. It's in issue 6A. Right. Yep, totally working. Perfect, so 6 boards are completely working. Just need to use some finishing. Of course I need to test these with interfaces like the diffMC and others, but because we can see that in one lines were working, it's very likely that the interfaces are working as well. So the only one I'm wondering about is this one with the probably bad Z80. Let's replace that, it's not too much work. Because I'm just curious, I want to know if it's indeed a cause. Let's get back here. So let's remove that Z80. First add some solder, then get a socket, 40-pin socket. Right. And then a new Z80 in animals type here for an original ZX Spectrum. Do not use a CMOS type for this. Alright. Where is that button? Yeah, does it work? I think it is. Alright, batteries again. Well, the reason for that is that the batteries in the receiver of the microphone are draining quite quickly, which surprises me because you would think that it would be the battery in the transmitter that's on me that I'm wearing, but it's not. It's actually the receiver that just consumes batteries quite quickly. So I think these new batteries are depleted in about 3 hours, which is of course insane. And these are good quality batteries, alkaline batteries from IKEA. These come out. These are good batteries when tested. So I would prefer to use chargeable ones, but I think I will just modify the receiver and put in some DC input. We'll see about that. So those are batteries here that are empty, but I will get new ones. Oh, I have new ones here. I already bought them a couple of days ago, a week or something like that. So plenty more of those, but I don't want to just keep swapping batteries. That's insane, especially because that's the receiver and not the transmitter. Again, I would think that the transmitter would consume more power than the receiver, don't you think? But who knows? Anyway, so we're done. We have fixed 7 boards out of 8, and by fixed I mean we've refurbished 7 ones almost completely. So just a bit more work on the ULA chip, of course. ROM chips, some of them need ROM chips, but that's it, and I'm very happy. It's 4:30 here, so we'll take a break and we'll go on this evening because there's lots more work to do, and it's also time to respond to emails and Facebook messages because I've not done it for a couple of days, so that's my bad. Just because I'm continuing to work, there's so much work. You can see the racks behind me there. Let me show you. Let me just show you how much work there still needs to be done. Oh, that's wrong. Let me just this one here. So I've got 3 racks with these are all customer stuff. The middle one is new stuff mainly to do, and at the right of the 3 dead one there, those are more repairs and other stuff. And I've got loads of other orders waiting. Where's that? Oh, here, look. Of course I can't show any details, but so these are all the orders that need to be processed still. So there's a lot of work to do. I think these are about 100 orders, and including refurbishments and repairs and stuff. So there's a lot of work. I just need to get it on and get it going, and I hope to catch up because at the half of May I had a backlog of about 130 orders, and now it's 150. And I'm doing a lot of work. I'm really getting a lot of stuff done. You can see it here on this side here. A couple of orders are already waiting, and the large boxes are orders consisting of more than 1 product. So that's from today only, but the day is not over, and I need to do more work. I don't mind because I like the work. It's just that it's hard to still to have a backlog for so many months, you know, and that's all because of the coronavirus. But because before the coronavirus, we had almost enough orders coming in for making a living. Then in February, March, we had a very scary period when no one was ordering anything from the shop, and from April, May, we got on 3 times as many orders compared to usual. So it's really a lot of work at this moment because many people have time, you know. Many of you will know. I don't mind. I just will continue working. But first, I have to add some DC input on the receiver, and I hope it will not mess up the audio. But we'll see about that. I will find something for that. Because this is not a really solution. Maybe I have a USB input, 5 volts or something. I will check. I will add some capacitors if there's noise, but we'll see. Thank you for watching, guys. I will be back with more live streaming, I think tomorrow. We'll see, I hope. I still have to edit my Vifine review, this microphone here, with the receiver and the transmitter unit, which works quite great and I like it a lot. So thank you for watching, subscribe if you haven't, get over to ZXpectrum.shop, or did I have a sponsor today? I don't think so. No, not today. Check out my other videos if you want to, and thank you for watching. Have a good day, and I will see you back tomorrow. Bye bye.